morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Wacky and Weird Wednesday, the episode where we cover the wacky and weird news that is going on in the news cycle, what oddities are happening out there, what weird things are people thinking, and of course, are animals at it again. This is Before Coffee, the comprehensive news of Planet Earth podcast, where we and my dad cover the news stories by looking up our headlines 10 to 15 minutes before we've started, and we haven't had any caffeine. So, let's go on and read out these headlines for today's show. Today on Before Coffee, Italian Premier Giorgia Meloni says she's being investigated for repatriating a Libyan warlord.
And Roger from the United States, we update the skating monkeys in South Carolina. And a Oregon man claims to be the one who's putting googly eyes on public art.
Up Helly Aa, the roots and Viking traditions of the Shetland celebration.
And finally, scientists get a penguin's eye view of the world.
This isn't weird news, but it's culture news. Chinese New Year starts today. Let's talk about everything you know about Year of the Snake.
And it's National Puzzle Day, which is very puzzling to me. I don't know what the hell to say. It's January 29th, 2025 on Before Coffee.
I love puzzles. I love solving puzzles. I like sitting there and looking at a puzzle for 10 minutes and then having to look up the hints or Google it because I just couldn't figure it out. Always good to keep your mind active with all those weird puzzles out there. One puzzle that might not have an answer is how Giorgia Meloni helped repatriate a Libyan warlord and why she's being investigated for it. This is my weird news coming out of the semi-fascist nation of Italy, which, don't forget, it's also happening here in Europe. This is by Colleen Berry on AP News. Coming out of Milan.
Stupid breaking all over.
Yeah. Rome prosecutors have opened an investigation against Premier Giorgia Meloni and two government ministers for repatriating a Libyan warlord wanted by the International Criminal Court in The Hague, the Premier announced on Tuesday. So that was, the 28th? Yeah, yesterday, 28th. Meloni revealed the investigation over allegedly aiding and abetting Osama Anjem, also known as Osama al-Masri, in a video posted on social media. She said her justice and interior ministers and an undersecretary are also targeted in the investigation. Meloni's government has been under fire from the opposition, human rights groups, and ICC itself for releasing al-Masri on a technicality after he was arrested in the northern city of Turin on a warrant from the International Court. Meloni said she presumed that the investigation was prompted by a complaint from an opposition politician. In Italy, if you don't respect the ICC and its right of law, then you're going to have a lot of other problems on your hands. Well, maybe she wants to avoid herself giving any of the ICC power over her. In Italy, prosecutors must launch investigations based on complaints, and it's up to a preliminary hearing judge to decide whether charges are filed or not. The process can take months, if not longer. Italy arrested al-Masri in Turin, where he had attended a soccer match, on January 19th, the day after the ICC's arrest warrant was issued. He was expelled on a government plane on January 21st after a court failed to confirm his arrest. Meloni complained in a social media post that the warrant was issued upon his arrival in Italy after having stayed for around 12 days in 3 other European countries. Sorry, my mouse just died, so I can't scroll anymore. Plug in the mouse so I can scroll. There it is. Okay. She said the international arrest warrant had not been transmitted to the Justice Ministry as required by law, and for this reason, the appeals court in Rome decided not to confirm the arrest. At this point, the subject was free in Italian territory, and rather than letting him free, we decided to expel and repatriate him immediately for security reasons of the flight, as happened in other similar cases, Meloni said. Meloni expressed indignation at the investigation, adding, "I cannot be blackmailed. I will not be intimidated." I don't think it's blackmail if everyone knows it. Usually how you get blackmailed is people say, I'm going to tell everyone if you don't do this thing for me. But she straight up is just like, we told on you, the end. Also under investigation are Justice Minister Carlo Nordio and Interior Minister Matteo Piantedosi, as well as Undersecretary Alfredo Montavani. Piantedosi is scheduled to respond to lawmakers' questions about the case on Wednesday, which is today, the 29th. He told the Senate last week that he expelled al-Masri for urgent security reasons, with my expulsion in order, in view of the danger posed by the subject. Well, he was a warlord in Libya, so I don't think he was going to start a warlord ring in Italy. He could have, but he would. He could have, I guess. But that's kind of the whole problem with it. If somebody had committed a crime, you should just arrest them and trial them. But they just sent him somewhere else. You guys can deal with it. The ICC warrant accused al-Masri of war crimes and crimes against humanity committed in the Mitiga prison in Libya starting in 2015 that are punishable with a life in prison. The ICC said he was accused of murder, torture, rape, and sexual violence. It said the warrant was transmitted to member states, including Italy, on January 18th, and that the court had also provided real-time information that he had entered Europe. The court said it was reminded that Italy at the time of contact, without delay, if it ran into any problems cooperating with the warrant. Al-Masri leads the Tripoli branch of the Reform and Rehabilitation Institution, a notorious network of detention centers run by government-backed special deterrence forces. Like many other militias in western Libya, the SDF has been implicated in atrocities in the civil war that followed the overthrow and killing of longtime Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. Recently, the International Criminal Court's chief prosecutor issued arrest warrants over alleged crimes in Libya beyond the civil war, including in detention facilities where human rights groups have documented abuses. So there's your weird news on, instead of arresting guy and, I don't know, putting him in a prison somewhere, just let him go back to Libya and continue his warlord schemes, I guess. And on to your stories.
I suppose. My glasses off and let's read stories without glare. All right, so let's go on to the 4 monkeys story. Let's update that one. Here's from AP News. The last 4 escaped monkeys are captured in South Carolina after months on the loose. It is a weird Wednesday, so here we are. This is the biggest story in the United States in ages. Authorities in South Carolina said Friday that the last 4 of the 43 escaped monkeys have been recaptured after 2 months living in the woods, weathering a rare snowstorm and being tempted back into captivity by peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. The rhesus macaque monkeys, all females, made a break for it after police say an employee did not fully lock their enclosure at Alpha Genesis, a facility that breeds them for medical research, known to the locals as the Monkey Farm. The recaptured monkeys appeared to be in good health. Alpha Genesis CEO Greg Westergaard said in a statement released by Yamasee Police in a social media post without further details. While they were on the loose, the area saw its first snow in 7 years, accumulating up to 7 inches or 8 centimeters. The rhesus macaques made a break for it on November 6 and mostly hung around near the facility. They're about the size of a cat, weighing only roughly 7 pounds or 3 kilograms. It appears a worker unintentionally left the gates unlocked when the monkeys escaped. Winterguard said in November, workers were supposed to lock and latch one gate before opening another, but all 3 gates and latches were left unsecure. It sounds like it was done on purpose.
It's a prison, dude. It's a monkey prison.
Yeah, monkeys. Maybe monkeys can figure out how to use the latches. The monkeys pose no risk to public health, said Alpha Genesis, federal health officials, and police. They're about as dangerous as a squirrel, probably, or a stray cat. Alpha Guard employees kept an eye on the monkeys and set out humane traps. That's a good idea, huh? Anyway, Alpha Guard employees kept the eye on the monkeys and set out humane traps. Most of them were lured back with food and were given peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and monkey biscuits, a high-protein Purina monkey chow specialty formulated for the rhesus macaques. Way to go, Purina. Purina Monkey Chow. The facility breeds the monkeys to sell to medical facilities and other researchers. Humans have been using the monkeys for scientific research since the 1800s. Scientists believe that rhesus macaques and humans split from a common ancestor about 25 million years ago and share about 93% of the same DNA. Well, I don't think they believe they share 93% of DNA. I think that's actual scientific research behind that.
Yeah.
They don't know necessarily. Well, it's a theory. We are related to them if we split from the same DNA. But hey, what do scientists know? Let's all read a book that was written by some other people thousands of years ago, before printing presses and stuff. And been translated 30 times before we ever saw it. Anyway, the compound is about 1 mile from downtown Yamasee, about 50 miles northeast of Savannah, Georgia. In other news, a man, this is in Oregon, local news, but it was on AP's headline, so here it is. Man says he was behind a public, this is from AP, Claire Rush. That last story, by the way, was also from AP. Did I put a name on it? I don't remember. No name. This one is also from AP, Claire Rush. Man says he was behind some of the viral googly eyes on public art in Oregon. A resident of Central Oregon, city of Bend, said he was the person behind some of the googly eyes that appeared on sculptures around the city in recent months and sparked a viral sensation widely covered by news outlets. Jeff Keith, founder of the Bend-based nonprofit called Guardian Group that works to combat the human trafficking, said Friday that he used duct tape to attach googly eyes to 2 sculptures. He said he has carried out similar pranks on other Bend sculptures before, such as adorning them with hula skirts and leis, and that they serve as a respite for an emotional toll of his work. It is a place for me to cope with some pretty heavy stuff, he told the Associated Press, noting that many of the trafficking victims he has worked with have been through unimaginable trauma. The city shared photos of the googly eye installations on social media in early December, saying the adhesives can damage the art. One photo shows googly eyes placed on a sculpture of 2 deer, which Keith described as his handiwork, while another shows them attached to a sphere. City officials at the time said 8 sculptures were affected and that it cost $1,500 to remove the googly eyes. $1,500. You give me $1,500, I would have done that for you. The social media post prompted the cascade of comments, with many social media users saying they like the googly eyes and that the city shouldn't spend time and money on removing them. The post and its comments were covered by news outlets and even made on a segment of CBS's The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. He said he didn't expect these exploits to receive that much attention, and that he went to the city offices to offer to pay for any damages. The city didn't immediately respond Friday to an email request seeking confirmation and comment. Bend's communications director, Rennie Mitchell, told the Associated Press last month that the city regretted that its post had been misunderstood. She said there was no intent to be heavy-handed and that the posts were meant to raise awareness of what the damage adhesives can do to the city's public art collection. The city had started treating some of the art pieces, she said, which are made of different types of metal, such as bronze and steel. Oh my god, that googly eyes, it's gonna damage that bronze. You're getting a little exaggerating here. $1,500 to clean them up. What the hell? You pay these
the bronze
workers
more.
I'm gonna get me a job as a maintenance worker. They're paying that much. I removed googly eyes today. I'm exhausted. What's wrong with you, Ben? Oh, a hard day at work. I removed googly eyes. Oh my god, the humanity. I don't know how the world is ever going to recover from this. Keith, who has lived in Bend for nearly 2 years, said he also brings some humor and joy to people's everyday lives. I think the biggest thing is for me to laugh when I come up with these roundabouts and I see families laughing, like hysterically laughing at these. It makes for a good time. And yeah, there's your googly eye story, your monkey story, in a big wacky world we live in.
I'm just really sad that the monkeys did not escape their monkey jail. They all got recaptured. No, maybe that's a sign that they don't want to be there.
They could have started a civilization, but they're all females, and none of them were pregnant, so civilization would have failed. They would have just,
it wouldn't be the first time that a mammal has somehow asexually reproduced. It happened.
Yeah.
It could have happened.
Well,
and then we would have had a macaw problem because they're an invasive species that don't belong in the United States. I'm just like, maybe them wanting to save its sign. I was rooting for them.
Could have been spontaneously born.
But unfortunately, they were not able to escape their doom, I guess, of being science monkeys.
Immaculate conception. That's it. The immaculate conception of the Reese macaques, and I'm going to start a whole church over it.
I mean, I don't want to go into the religious, theology about it, but immaculate conception is about the idea that Mary was born without sin, has nothing to do with getting pregnant without a
monkeys.
Man. But
we are on the monkey
that is
side.
I don't want to say it's a false truth. People misunderstood what that word meant, and then they ran with it, but that's not what immaculate conception means. Anyways, in some more weird news, we're going to talk about Helly Aa, which is a celebration that you may not have heard of, and it's I don't know if it's weird, but it's wacky. It's from Alison Campsey on The Scotsman. Tonight in Lerwick, Shetland's Norse heritage will be celebrated in a blaze of glory at the town's Helly Aa. Almost 1,000 geysers, warriors in full Viking dress, of helmets and shields and carrying flame torches, will parade through the streets following their leader, the Geyser Jarl, whose galley boat will then be set on fire in an astounding display. That sounds fun. A bunch of people dressed as Vikings putting a galley boat. I'm not sure how big that is. Probably not that big. I don't know a lot about ships building. It's big enough, if that's what they mean by galley. Because I know what a galley is in like Age of Empires, but I'm not sure if it's the same boat. Pretty big boat set on fire. Some say the ritual echoes the cremation of the great Norse leaders and religious ceremonies to mark the sun's return to the longest dark winter nights in the far north. That's right, guys. We have survived the solstice, so we are no longer in the darkest part of the year, at least up here in the northern hemisphere. Helly Aa celebrates the long Norse period in Shetland, which lasts some 600 years after the first Vikings landed on its shores between 800 and 850 AD, with the islands part of the Kingdom of Norway until the 15th century. Kingdom of Norway. However, Helly Aa is a relatively modern festival. The earliest known written account of such gathering in Lerwick, which dated to 1824, describes an event that's also described as as thronged with people as any fair I saw in England. It said, the whole town was in uproar from 12 o'clock last night until the late night, blowing of horns, beating of drums, tinking of old tin kettles, and fire of guns, shouting, bawling, fiddling, piping, drinking, fighting. This was the state of the town all night. The street was thronged with people, as any fair I ever saw in England. In 1840, the party escalated further with the burning of tar barrels, rolled through the streets on a boogie with a motley mob in masks scurrying the molten contents. When the end came for the tar barreling in the early 1870s, it seems to have been because the young Norwegians themselves had decided it was time for a change. A group of young men with intellectual interest came up with a new idea for celebrations, Smith wrote. It was then that the Helly Aa was, as we know it, started. To take shape, the date moved forward to the end of the January in a Viking-themed embrace. Mr. Smith wrote, first, they improvised the name Helly Aa and gradually postponed the celebration until the end of January. Secondly, they introduced a far more elaborate element of guising, in the new festival. Thirdly, they inaugurated a torchlight procession. At the same time, they were toying with the idea of introducing Viking themes to the new festival. The first sign of this new development appeared in 1877. But it was not until the late 1880s that a Viking longship, the galley, appeared. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a longship. But it's not a whole galley. It would take months to build that galley, and then you just burn it. As late as 1906, the Geyser Jarl, the chief geyser, arrived on the scene. It was not until after the First World War that there was a squad of Vikings, the Geyser Jarl Squad, in procession every year. Mr. Smith describes Up Helly Aa in the lead-up to the World War II as overwhelmingly a festival of young working-class men, with the event run on a shoestring. In his account, he added, in the winter of 1931 and 32, there was an unsuccessful move to cancel the festival because of the dire economic situation in the town. At the same time, the Up Helly Aa Committee became a self-confident organization which poked fun at the pompous in the long-established Up Helly Aa bill, sometimes driving the victims to fury. Still to this day, the first act of the Geyser Jarl is to read up the Up Helly Aa proclamation, which is struck to the market cross in Lerwick, the document, usually making several jibes at local leaders and hidden references to topics of contention in the town. You know, like, I don't know, Anne stealing all the apples from the apple stand. I don't know. I wish they give me examples, because I want to hear the goss of Lerwick. The Geyser Jarl and his squads that move around the town, visiting schools and the elderly with the torchlight procession beginning around 7 p.m. from Lerwick Town Hall. What follows is the burning of the galley boat, the climax of the event. At night, the halls in and around Lerwick are full of guests awaiting the arrival of the squads as they tour around the town, entertaining folk with their performances and their songs. In the past, the squads entertained in open houses, but the growing numbers taking part had moved this part of the event into 6 or 7 public buildings. It's like, okay, there's too many people. We can't all come in. There's 12 of us. We can't fit in your house. Great planning and pride goes into the celebration, with the meeting for the festival beginning from the next event as soon as the year is over. Well, that was a fun night. What are we doing next year? In 2023, women and girls participated in the Lerwick Up Helly Aa Festival for the first time in the event's history. And this is an event that's been happening since the 1800s. So, damn. Took that long, huh? Oh yeah, women! Not very Viking, because actually Vikings, for the most part, Vikings saw an equal footing with women. They didn't see them as a lesser being, so. It followed a long-running campaign, which had been active since the 1980s, to relax the usual gender roles surrounding the celebration. The Lerwick Up Helly Aa is perhaps the most famous, but similar celebrations are held across Shetland Isles between January and March. So there's your weird and wacky celebration of being Vikings, but not really being Vikings, because it's probably all stereotyped, like they're wearing the wrong hats and stuff, as they used to set tar barrels up in the streets, and now they just walk around with torches and set a boat on fire. And on to your weird and wacky news.
This is from popularscience.com or popsci.com. Laura Baesas. Finally, scientists get a penguin's eye view of the world, it says. Let's delve into it. Yeah. Getting a penguin's eye view of the ocean is now a reality, and an international team of researchers had developed penguicams, a new animal-born camera system that can help track how much prey they need to eat, where they're finding fish, and how much energy they spend getting their meals. The unique findings in foraging are described in a study published. A study published. I combined them in one word, stublished. January 28th in the journal Peer J. Animal-born cameras like the new Penguicams and National Geographic's Crittercam can give researchers a view of behaviors they normally could not see. One of those important behaviors is how they interact with their prey. This is typically done by sampling their feces or what's inside their stomachs of dead birds. But this new method will help scientists understand just how much work it is for these penguins to get food. Understanding how an animal hunts and how much prey they need can help understand why they may be foraging for certain prey in certain spots. In the study, an international team of researchers affixed small, lightweight cameras to Humboldt, Tawaki, and king penguins in New Zealand. They then used the known distance between the penguin's beak and the camera to determine a correction factor, a number that adjusts an observed value. The correction factor that the team created is a way to convert the pixel-based measurements in the footage into actual dimensions. It allows scientists to take a still image just before prey is consumed and measure how long or tall it is in pixels. Then, the pixel measurement can be converted into a real-world measurement in millimeters. This allows scientists to estimate just how much energy the penguin is getting from each foraging trip. The team tested video footage using a reference object, a grid with known dimensions at multiple distances, water, salinities, and angles. They then used these findings to create linear models, linear models that predict correction factors for distance that were beyond the tested range. This new correction factor takes into account distance traveled, refraction, and distortion to offer a practical tool to estimate size underwater. The study found that correction factors were significantly different in air and water environments due to the differences in light refraction. However, these factors remain consistent across salt and fresh water, so they can be applied to several different marine habitats in the future. We created a new way to study marine predators through animal-borne camera footage. Owen Dabkowski, a study co-author, student at the University of Otago in New Zealand, said in a statement, Otago. The correction factor allows measurements to be taken directly from video footage using a simple method. The innovative technique allows energetics of the prey to be calculated, which can help explain the decisions made by predators during foraging. The new method also takes distortion effects in the water and the air to ensure more precise measurements. The team also created a quick reference table and have example footage of demonstrating how the method works in real-world scenarios for other scientists to use. Using the correction factors developed with penguin cams could enable more accurate studies of ecological interactions. Having this data could better inform conservation measures for threatened or endangered species. Pengu Cams was developed by scientists from the University of Otago, the Tawaki Trust, the Global Penguin Society, the Antarctic Research Trust, and CONICET in Argentina. So there's your story on penguins and how we're going to learn how they consume their food and how much energy they burn and all kinds of fun stuff about animals today on Weird Wednesday. And I posted you a video, so...
Yeah, I've got it. Some more animal fun, because animals are definitely just out there existing and not thinking any more deeply than that. In some culture news, speaking of animals, it's Year of the Snake starting today, so get your red envelopes out and get on your, I forget the name of the dress you wear because my brain doesn't work properly, but this is from David Moorquand and AP on Your News Culture.
Crawl around on your belly.
Yeah, crawl around on your belly and, take your skin off. Lunar New Year starts today, welcoming the Year of the Snake. What can you expect from this year, and how are people celebrating with soup and puppets for some? Asian communities across the world will begin singing the Lunar New Year tomorrow, with 2025 designated as the Year of the Snake in the Chinese zodiac. The snake is the sixth animal in the zodiac cycle and is an important motif in Chinese mythology. It is traditionally associated with traits like intuition, wisdom, and slyness, and charm, and often linked to the elements of fire, representing passion and transformation. This means that the year, also referred to as a little dragon year, that's a snake is a little dragon, is a reminder that a lot of southeast and some east dragons are not those big chunky ones like in the west, but they're more snake-like, more, even one could say sea serpent-like. So that's why the snake is considered a little dragon. It's considered to be a time for reflection and skin shedding, or also known as personal growth. No! Not personal growth! I have to get better and learn from my past mistakes. That's scary. So fear not those of you still clinging on to those negative perceptions of snakes and serpents as symbols of sin and evil. People born in the Year of the Snake are believed to be intelligent and graceful. Do you know anybody born in the Year of the Snake? I don't know, because I can't remember when they were. Oh, here we go. Well, look at that. David provided me the dates in the next paragraph. I didn't even plan that. That means if you're born in 41, anyone born in 41, 53, 65, 77, 89, 2001, or 2013, you are from the year of the snake. I don't know anybody from those days. So,
if your age is divisible by 12, it's your year because there's 12 zodiacs in Chinese. So you just divide, hey, if I'm 48, it's my year, basically, is how that works.
But, so congratulations to all those.
If you're 24, it's your year, in other words. Right?
Well,
anyway.
Yeah. Congratulations to all those people born those years for your IQ and style as snakes. Haha. For those born this year, it's more precisely the year of the wood snake. You see, the Chinese zodiac also has a cycle of natural elements that change every 2 years: earth, metal, water, wood, and fire. As there are 12 signs of 5 elements, it takes 60 years for the same animal sign and element combination to occur. So in a way, this is a little bit more intricate than astrology, because astrology is more, well, actually it's about the same intricacy, because astrology is all about where the moon was and where the sun was exactly the minute you were born. And this is all about what element was it and what year was it, and that determines your entire future. The 2025ers.
Right. Damn it. This is more accurate.
Be content in knowing that the wood snake.
At all.
Yeah, no. I actually would like to know what I know in the year of the dog. I have no idea what element it was in 1994.
I'm the year of the tiger.
If it's wood, that's so much math I have to do. I've been alive for 31 years.
Happen until,
so divide that by half is 16 years ish. So, and then
you won't have a year until your 36th birthday, which would be whenever.
In 5 years.
When you turn 36.
In 5 years.
Yeah. That's when your year. That's when your year is. So
but I was wondering what my element was. I don't know what elements I was.
Oh, you didn't know.
And there's only 5, so I have to do math.
That's a different cycle.
Because if it was 15 years ago, which means that was 3 rotations, I guess. And it's wood now, so it would have been water, metal, earth, fire. I have no idea. I'll have to look it up. So, 2025ers, be content in knowing that the wood snake is a particularly charming and creative sign, which can be cunning and ruthless if it needs to be. Of course, all the snakes you'll see are very cute and adorable. They're not going to be looking angry or anything. As Hong Kong prepares to welcome the Year of the Snake, one chef is keeping busy. In her decades-old restaurant, Xiao Kaling is one of the last keepers of the city's traditional snake soup industry. That's right. Would you like to taste some snake soup? Well, head to Hong Kong, because they've got lots of it. I don't know what that would taste like, because I don't think I've ever had reptile in any sense.
I've had alligator.
Oh, and what did it taste like? Chicken? That's what they always say.
I've also had snake. I've also had snake out in the field. I'm sorry, what's that?
Well, what did it taste like?
A snake?
Yeah. I don't know. Did it have any flavor
fishy
profiles?
Chicken.
Fishy?
Fishy chicken.
Fishy chicken. There you go.
Fish chicken.
So, Xiao Kaling is one of the last keepers of the city's traditional snake soup industry. She does, however, save 3 live snakes for the occasional display in a wooden drawer that once housed more serpents for cooking. Founded by Chow's late father in 1960, Chai Wong Kip once slaughtered live snakes for its dishes. Chai Wong means snake king in Cantonese. Under her father's guidance, Xiao learned to catch and kill serpents and make soup, eventually becoming known as the city's snake queen. Hey, at least you're a queen of something. The restaurant, alongside most of the city's other remaining snake soups, switched to using frozen snake meat from Southeast Asia after a 2003 outbreak of SARS, or severe acute respiratory syndrome, killed 299 people in Hong Kong. Damn snakes! Despite the change, preparing snake soup still takes a long time. The defrosted snake meat must be boiled for at least 2 hours to achieve the desired tenderness. After it cools, Chow debones it with a sharpened chopstick and tears it into thin pieces by hand. Oh, so they cook it in the bones, just similar to how you would cook like a fish. Or a really good piece of beef. The snake bones then are simmered with chicken and pork bones for at least 6 hours to make the soup base. Next, the broth is stewed with snake meat, shredded chicken, ham, fungus, and mandarin orange peel before finally being thickened with the starch. so it's a thick soup. When a bowl of soup is served, then diners usually garnish it with lemon leaves and crispy chips. Snake meat, which has a texture similar to the chicken after cooking, is rich in protein and low in fat, so also similar to chicken. During the winter, chow can sell up to 800 bowls a day, ranging in the price from 6 to 10 euros, but that figure drops to 100 or less in the summer when the soup is less popular. Yeah, most people don't like eating soup in the summertime. Most people. Korean people love eating soup at all times, and they definitely have soup during the summer, but...
And it has actual snake oil in it.
Yeah, exactly. Bonus. So I guess not much, because they're very low in fat, so they don't have a lot of oil. I feel like the fat in snake is probably in their skin. You know? Like, similar to fish, right? When you peel that fish skin off, there's a bunch of fat layer on the other side. So they don't really...
Snake oil is so
they're
valuable.
Cold, right? They're cold-blooded, so they don't really have insulation. Snake soup shops have closed after the COVID-19 pandemic, as older chefs retire, leaving only about 20 still in operation. But Xiao is determined to keep her business going as long as possible, though she is pessimistic about the industry's future. This is not a money-making industry, and so I don't see that any young people would like to get into it. That's definitely a problem with a lot of things. There's a local bike shop closing down in my village because there's no young people who want to continue the business, so it's just closing down permanently. They've had the business for 30 years running a bike shop. They're like, time to retire, guys. We're old. And good luck having a bike shop, I guess, because nobody's taking over.
Right.
Maybe somebody will. I think they probably just sold it to the bank. Way easier just to sell your business to a bank than to find somebody to replace you. Elsewhere, celebrations have already begun usher in the Lunar New Year. In Indonesia, where millions of people have Chinese ancestry, crowds already gathered in the city of Bogor to listen to drummers and watch puppet displays, with some placing red envelopes or hong bao filled with money into the puppets' mouths. Red color is hugely important in these celebrations, as it symbolizes the good luck and prosperity. As for the hong bao, tradition has evolved in the 21st century, as many people now exchange digital red envelopes instead of traditional paper ones. Finally, if you want to wish someone a Happy New Year in Chinese, we've got you covered. In Mandarin, you can use the phrase Chun Ji Kuai, which I apologize because I'm not very good at my Chinese. Chun Ji Kuai Li, which means Happy Spring Festival. In Cantonese, it's Gong Hai Fat Choi, which means congratulations and prosperous. So, go ahead and practice that. Chun Li Kai Le Kuai. They do this, so you know what mouth movements to do, but I actually don't know what the mouth movements are. So I think it's A, Y, Lei, and then Gong Hai Fat Choi. And Happy Lunar New Year. Here's to shedding some of that skin, getting rid of all those problems that you've been, shoving under the rug, and becoming a new person, a new chapter in life. And on to this day in history.
Yep. I think you replace all your skin. Is it every 11 years or something like that? all
your cells. All your cells are dead.
Replaced.
Yeah.
I think it's,
but when you get older, it gets slower and slower
until
like you just have the same cells for 30 years, I think.
Yeah, the whole goal is to get older, though. So what are you supposed to do about that? Anyway. And this day in history. On this day in history, 1819, British India Company Administrator Sir Stamford Raffles established the port of Singapore. That's right, Singapore wasn't always there. The British East India Company established it. And what would they call it before that? I wonder.
Don't know.
South China? I don't know. 1845, American author Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven was first published, appearing in the New York Mirror, a melancholy evocation of lost love. It became one of the best-known poems in American literature. Edgar Allan Poe is not really that successful of a person during his life, though. 1860, Russian author Anton Chekhov was born. He was known for his plays and short stories, which often lacked complex plots and neat solutions. And 1880, American actor and comedian W.C. Fields was born in Philadelphia. very big comic in the early days of talkies. 1886, German mechanical engineer Carl Benz patented the first practical automobile powered by an internal combustion engine, which went international. Yeah, so the first internal, of course, Carl Benz, namesake of Mercedes-Benz. 1900, the American League of Professional Baseball Clubs is organized in Philadelphia. So happy anniversary to the American League. You are 125 years old today.
Damn.
Yay, baseball. Baseball starting soon. 1919, Prohibition Amendment, the 18th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was ratified and went into effect the following year. And boy, was that a roaring success, huh? 1924, the first machine for rolling ice cream cones was patented by Carl Rutherford Taylor in Cleveland. So happy ice cream cone day, we could call this today, man. 1936, Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb were among the first players to be elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. They just announced that recently. The Ichiro's in, as probably could have covered that story a couple of weeks ago. Ichiro, the first Japanese player to enter the United States Baseball Hall of Fame. Ichiro, who the controversy was not unanimous, which is insane. But I guess there's writers out there like, he's Japanese. I don't know. Whatever. 1964, the British film Dr. Strangelove was released in theaters. Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bombs, a landmark Cold War farce directed by Stanley Kubrick and starring Peter Sellers in a few roles. 1966, Brazilian football soccer player Romario, who was one of the most prolific goal scorers in the sport's history, was born in Rio de Janeiro. And 2004, author Janet Frame died at the age of 79. She created a unique body of work that represents perhaps the most recognized voice of New Zealand to those outside her native country. On 2015, another author died. Colleen McCullough died at the age of 77. She's best known for her sweeping romance, The Thornbirds, and for the Masters of Rome series from 1990 to 2007. So, sad day for authors today. On this day in history, our featured event, 2002. On this day in 2002, U.S. President George W. Bush delivered a State of the Union address and described Iran, Iraq, and North Korea as the axis of evil for their attempts to develop nuclear, chemical, and biological weaponry.
And then
so when
killed
we
a
were
bunch of
developing,
civilians by bombing the Baghdad.
tried to justify his invasion of Iraq by grouping Iraq and Iran together, two countries that are at war continuously for centuries.
Two countries have famously never gone along, but they're in a organization of evil to take over the world. Yeah.
So this is a classic gaslighting by George W. Bush, creating a situation that don't exist. Only in his mind, just so he can justify a war. Other birthdays today are Oprah Winfrey's our featured biography. Oprah Winfrey, if you know who Oprah is, congratulations. You never had to suffer through Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz. But she was born January 29th, 1954, age of 71. Thank you very much, Britannica, for forgetting what year it is again. And she was born in Kosciuszko, Mississippi. I know that's not how it's pronounced. Nobody in the South is going to go to the trouble of pronouncing that. Kosciuszko. That's what Kosciuszko, Mississippi. Kosciuszko. I think I got it that time. Other birthdays today. William McKinley's birthday. He was a former president of the United States. Anton Chekhov we covered. Germaine Greer, Australian writer, born in 1939. We covered Oprah, and it's Paul Ryan, former Speaker of the House, born in 1970. So Paul Ryan turning 55 today. And what day is it today? It's only 2 things besides National Puzzle Day, which you should do puzzles, man. It sharpens your mind. And National Corn Chip Day, which don't sharpen your mind, but they do crunch a lot, and they're good for dipping in basically anything. So it's National Corn Chip Day. That's everything. That's your news. That's your updates. Everything for January 29th, 2025 on Before Corn Chips.
Woo! Crunchy corn chips. This has been Alton here from the Netherlands, which we don't really have corn chips. And I kind of miss them sometimes. And Roger, of course, from the West Coast, United States. As we put another check down on a Wacky and Weird Wednesday, looking at what weird and wacky things are going on in the world today. And it's Gandhi's birthday. Yes, happy birthday to Gandhi, who's turning, what, 31? I'm also turning 31 soon in the 20th, but that's a month from now. Oh, also, what year were you born? 61 or 62? I always forget the number.
Why? Are we giving away birthdays?
No, I'm giving away what year, what animal you are for the years.
I'm the year of the tiger.
Oh, are you? Okay, so 62. You were also born the water tiger. I don't know what that means, but water was the. I was looking up the elements because I was like, I don't know what element I'm in.
Yeah.
I was the wood dog. So I'm also a wood element.
But if you were born in January, you're the previous year.
Yeah, you're a metal ox.
Right?
If you're born in January, you're a metal ox. Yeah. And then we've got my older sibling is a metal goat. My younger sibling is a earth rabbit. So there you go. And I think my mom is, she was a dragon, a fire dragon, I believe. Which is hot. Fire. I don't know what any of the elements mean because I don't.
A fire-breathing dragon.
But I'm sure it means something.
A fire-breathing dragon.
I think you can usually rate your own associations with the elements, like fiery people are more erratic or emotional or something, and wood people, what did it say? They're more like, tiger. I don't know. Earth people are more grounded, stuff like that. Stuff like that, I guess. But all right, let's end the show. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Right? Wacky and Weird Wednesday.
Who doesn't want to be a big cat?
Huh? You're a big cat?
I like being a tiger because who doesn't want to be a big cat?
Yeah.
That's cool as hell. You're a predator
I'm
of the
dog,
jungle.
so I don't know what that. I'm loyal, I guess. I'm a loyal follower. I don't know what being a dog means.
Let's do the mic dropping.
Yeah. But we will see you tomorrow for Thursday 13, where we have to drop a list. We drop a list of 13 things that we want you to know about, and I guess sometimes it's, best to worst, worst to best, or sometimes just a random list of 13 things. Hope to see you guys for that. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Ali and Raj. Get your notification bell turned on so you know when we go live and post a video. Like this video and tell us below in the comments what year you were born in and what, I guess, element that is. Because I guess the element bit was just not as popularly shared as the animal bit was. And here is our animal-themed mic drop moment. This is why these monkeys escaped. They just want to
live in barley.
Barter.
Every morning, the troop heads for a building in the center of their territory.
These are macaques. These are the monkeys that got freed and had to be captured.
And there's 43 of these just running around in squads, probably.
This is Bali, by the way. This is a big tourist attraction in Bali.
Where you get
they steal your sunglasses and your hat. Yep.
I want to go to the monkey place and get harassed by monkeys.
Wow. That's
Oh,
just
her glasses?
cruel.
Yep, her glasses.
Oh man, don't wear glasses there. Whatever you do, look at it.
Don't have anything. It's a thieving zone. Just imagine they're all thieves and you'll
You feed them and get your glasses back.
And you can't wear a hat.
Seems like
That is a fat monkey. Look at him.
there are greater rewards
Don't bring
to
any
be had
food with you.
for those who know how to get them. And this
I wonder what the monkeys think. Like, these guys are stopping by to take pictures of me. But he probably doesn't know their pictures. He's like, these people are just have a black thing faced at
Where's
me.
Dad going? Where's Dad going? Oh, he's out to steal glasses so we can have food today.
for over 10 years. And now concentrate on the big stuff. No one wants to walk home with just
Crazy.
Wow, that is a big monkey. Oh, watch. Oh no, taking your shoes too. Make sure you wear strapped-on shoes.
on the
Wear boots, I think. Wear boots. Don't wear a hat. Don't wear glasses. Just cover your
Oh, the
whole
phone's
body.
gone now. That's really bad.
Oh, fighting the monkey.
The older males understand something the youngsters have yet to learn.
I would just not bring anything with me. I would just bring myself.
The art
I was there.
deal.
That's all I need. I don't need to take pictures of it.
How dare you?
Is that a knife?
Oh,
What is
wow.
that?
A bar of chocolate.
Beef. No, it was chocolate.
No, what
Real
it's holding.
skill
A phone,
is
maybe.
in the
Oh,
negotiations.
Phone.
The macaques are playing us at our own game. They demand
These guys are giving me food for free. I didn't even steal their sunglasses.
Wow, big old box of Pringles.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.